Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're about to go on a highly curated journey through the bizarre, the fascinating, and the absolute extremes of human behavior. Have you ever wondered just how far the human mind and body can actually go? Well, we're answering that today by pulling some absolutely incredible insights directly from issue 95 of the weekly Nishi's Here newsletter. It's packed with these mind-bending stories, and I honestly can't wait to unpack them with you.
Here is what we've got on the agenda today. First, the sleepless mystery. Then, clowns on Mars, the K-pop machine, range and discipline, and finally, feed your curiosity. Let's get right into it.
All right, part 1, the sleepless medical mystery.
So think about this for a second. What would actually happen if you never slept? I mean, we all know how absolutely brutal we feel after pulling just one all-nighter, right? You get that terrible brain fog, you're totally exhausted. Science tells us plain and simple that sleep is non-negotiable. But what if there was someone out there who just completely shattered that biological rule?
Well, get this. 64. That is how many years a man in Vietnam, Mr. Thai Ngoc, claims to have gone without a single wink of sleep. We're talking since 1962. And no, this isn't some internet myth. It's a deeply documented reality that has literally left scientists and doctors scratching their heads.
For a long time, Mr. Ngoc's exact location in South Vietnam was kept totally under wraps. But creator Drew Binsky was so obsessed with this story that he traveled 2 whole days all the way from Arizona just to track him down. He actually stayed up all night with Mr. Ngoc just to test if this sleeplessness was the real deal. So why is this happening? Well, the experts are totally split. Some think it's an extreme case of PTSD from the war, while others are leaning towards some incredibly rare, undocumented medical condition. But either way, it is an absolutely wild testament to the unimaginable extremes the human body can actually handle.
Moving on to Section 2, Clowns on a Mars Mission.
Okay, let's pivot from extreme human biology to extreme space survival. If I asked you what NASA looks for in an astronaut for a grueling trip to Mars, you'd probably guess, I don't know, engineering genius, pristine technical skills, or maybe peak physical fitness, right? But NASA actually ran a study on a potential Mars mission and found something totally shocking. The absolutely most crucial trait they found for team dynamics and survival, it wasn't technical at all. It was humor. Yeah, you heard that right. They basically figured out they need a class clown to keep the crew from completely mentally breaking down.
And why is humor so critical up there? Well, it boils down to this really simple, profound idea that honestly doubles as the ultimate relationship hack. Quote, being with someone who doesn't just add love but removes pressure, that's a different level of care. Think about it. A multi-year trip to Mars is literally a pressure cooker. Having someone on your team whose humor naturally diffuses that intense pressure, it's vital for survival. And honestly, it's a massive lesson for our everyday lives and relationships right down here on Earth too.
All right, Section 3, the K-pop monetization machine.
So, pivoting away from authentic human connection, let's talk about the highly lucrative business of manufacturing it for profit. The core of this whole thing is called synthetic intimacy. Basically, it's the illusion of a deep emotional connection that is meticulously curated and then monetized by an industry or a label. K-pop labels have absolutely perfected this as a business model. They aren't just selling you music, they are selling the actual feeling of being intimately connected to their artists.
So how exactly do they monetize the synthetic intimacy? Through highly gamified systems. It pulls fans into this endless cycle of constant spending. I mean, they're buying albums not just to listen to the music, but as lottery tickets to win a chance to meet the idol at a fan sign. They blind buy merch hoping to collect these rare random photo cards. They even pay for subscription messaging apps like Bubble, which literally simulate direct one-on-one texting with the idol. It is a highly calculated machine designed from the ground up to maximize both emotional investment and, of course, financial return.
But here's the catch. This model has some serious, inevitable friction. Step 1, the labels curate this illusion. And Step 2, they gamify the engagement. But Step 3 is where it gets tricky, because this inevitably fosters some pretty unhealthy expectations among the fans. Because the intimacy is synthetic, fans start to feel this intense sense of ownership over the idols. So Step 4, when an idol's real, private life inevitably clashes with this heavily curated illusion, like, say, if they start dating someone in real life, the labels face this intense, almost dangerous level of fan volatility. The very same machine that prints money also creates a total powder keg of emotion.
Which brings us to Section 4, range, care, and discipline.
Let's bring our focus back from these massive corporate machines to individual human artistry.
If we want to talk about extreme empathy and range, we have to talk about an actor like Oscar Isaac. He has this talent that you just can't box into a specific genre. It's totally slippery, completely untethered. He has this unbelievable range where he can just walk into a scene and immediately raise the temperature by 5 degrees. And he doesn't do it by being super loud or overly theatrical. He does it through just sheer mastery of his craft. I mean, every single expression he makes feels like it belongs to an entirely different human being.
But to achieve that kind of mastery, whether you're an actor, an astronaut, or just, navigating your daily life, it requires something very specific. And this brings us to a super powerful realization to wrap up our exploration of human extremes today. The quote is, "Discipline isn't a routine, it's a promise you keep with yourself." I love that. It totally shifts the concept of discipline away from just being some boring, repetitive checklist of tasks and turns it into a deeply empowering, introspective commitment to your own potential.
And finally, Section 5, Feed Your Curious Mind.
We have covered a ton of ground today, right? From sleepless men in Vietnam to NASA-class clowns and the intense psychology of K-pop. And you might be wondering, where all these totally disparate, fascinating threads even come from? Well, right now, over 2,000 curious minds are already getting these exact types of eclectic, perfectly curated insights delivered straight to them every single week. They aren't just scrolling endlessly trying to find interesting things. The absolute most fascinating stories in tech, business, and pop culture are being hand-delivered directly to them.
So, if you love the insights we uncovered in this explainer today, you've got to fuel that curiosity. Seriously, don't let the learning stop here. Join the curated journey and become part of that community by visiting nishdishere.com right now. It's hands down the best way to ensure your mind stays engaged with the most extreme and fascinating stories our world has to offer. After all, if the human mind is capable of going 64 years without a wink of sleep, just think about what incredible extremes your own mind might be capable of if you fed it the right ideas. Go check it out.